What's up, guys? My name is Jomel Socorro,
My name's Jarron Gaddis.
and we are the Wannabe Boo podcast, bringing the latest and greatest game and anime news, reviews, and waifus for life. Welcome to episode 60. How are you, Jarron?
This is
And welcome,
episode 59.
fucking back.
This is episode 59.
No, is it 59?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I did an oopsie.
Yep, because remember last time I talked about doing the gag about
Oh my god, I'm
forgetting
sorry.
what episode it was again.
Oh my god.
Which we continued today.
I generally thought it was 60. I'm sorry.
I mean, we can reconfirm.
We can reconfirm. No, it really is. It is 59.
Okay, yes.
It is. Hold on. Let me reconfirm.
But yes, sorry for bringing this one back. But we are almost to episode 60. Yippee. And this is, even though it's just a regular 59, this is a special episode. Because if you didn't see it on our Facebook or our Twitter, your boy's back in town.
Yes, I can confirm it is episode 59.
Okay.
I am a fuck right now. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
But
yes, Jarron is back.
Well, back for this episode anyway. I'm visiting Chicago. Had a really good time today, and I was looking forward to getting drunk tomorrow.
And happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Granted, this will come out after St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
But
So when I said tomorrow, I mean tomorrow from today, which is Friday.
yes. So hopefully, if you guys are listening to this, you guys are sober and well, and hopefully rehydrating from all the drinking you guys have been doing, especially me.
Unless you're still drinking.
Unless you're still drinking, then right on you for a Monday day drinkers.
Yep. They know who they are.
But how are you, John? How was your trip? How was your journey back for the week?
Dude, so first of all, if you're the kind of person that never makes plans, don't travel very much because it's stressful as shit. God, like you just have so many regrets. I should have done this earlier. I should have done that. Blah blah blah. This was a better option. I could have fucking just flown down here. I could have gotten a train. I could have got on the bus to the train and then taken a train to fucking where I was going. But no, I said I'm just gonna take this 12-hour bus ride and fucking kill myself.
Of course, just jump off right in the middle of the highway.
It was rough. I got like maybe 2 hours of sleep within that time period, and I got terrible sleep the night before because I was packing and trying to do laundry and shit. It was not good. But
we're not doing any better right now because right now we're still recording at 1 a.m.
1 a.m. after an eventful day, reconnecting with the boys and having a nice dinner with everyone that was available. It was a really fucking good time, and I am very, very, very happy I decided not to cancel just purely based on the fact that I'm gonna be putting a pretty big dent in my finances, but I won't be destroyed. I'll still have a decent amount.
That's good.
Like a livable-ish amount, considering I live with my parent.
Right. Well, it's nice to have you on the show. In this case, you're sort of a guest.
I?
Because you're here to visit Chicago.
Yeah, but the format's not gonna change. I can slap
definitely.
you in the face now.
No, yeah, definitely. You can finally.
Fuck you.
You can finally. What is it? When did you move out of here? July.
No, that was in August.
So you get like what, 5 months of like held back smack to give me in person now.
Yep. Now I can call you pedophile in real life.
There we go.
IRL.
There's
baby.
There's the gag. Where's our hentai panel part? Hentai plug.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Today we got some stuff to talk about too. But
Yes.
Otherwise, how are you, Jomel? How was your?
Oh, I am great.
Your demons?
My demons, we're best friends. We're best of friends, and we can be even more insufferable together.
I wish my demon was a succubus with big titties.
Ooh, yes.
And I could call her own H.I. and she outed me all night.
Actually, mine's more so of a Obasan kind of situation.
Yeah.
Wait, is it? No, Obasan's grandma.
I was going to say grandma. If you're into that.
Okay.
Okachan?
Well, it's literally mother though at that point.
Yes.
So.
That's what you're into.
It's senpai and sensei is more my spiel, but
well,
whatever.
Considering you're a cougar chaser,
whatever auntie is, I'll go with that.
What is on in Japanese?
I know OG-chan is uncle.
Yeah.
I don't know what the female
Is
variant.
it still Okachan?
No, it wouldn't. I don't think it would be. Please be aware we are not anywhere fluent with Japanese.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm absolutely fluid.
We are.
Yeah, it's Okachan.
Is it Obasan?
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess you could just combine them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was right in the beginning. Okay, I reinstate my statement then. I'll give me a nice Obasan.
Oh, because I think Obasan is just for, like, aunt, like, older woman.
Like, kind of like if you just like an auntie that's not related to you.
Yeah. So it's either, like, it's either your grandmother, your mother, or your aunt, because they're all older women to you.
Okay.
It's like a respectful. I guess it's a respectful way to address them.
Okay.
Whereas if you're actually addressing your mother, I guess you call her Hahawe.
Oh, so the
Because
formalities.
Haha is mother.
Oh.
Yeah, there's one character for mother, and it's Haha. And I remember in certain shows they say Hahawe when, like, super respectfully talking to their mother.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I understand.
Mm-hmm. What do we know? We're wannabe-aboos.
Right.
But overall, everything's great. Again, I don't know how I'll be when this podcast comes out. Hopefully, I'm able to edit this peacefully. While recovering from such events from Saturday. I would like to think so.
Mm-hmm.
We also did a lot of shopping today too. You know.
That is true. Y'all fucking bought up a goddamn storm.
I mean, we might. Yeah, exactly.
How much money do you think you went through, Jomel?
Easily $400 in the past couple days, because that's not including yesterday. So, easily $400 plus another couple grand in bills. But those are personal details that I won't go into. But in terms of material goods, yeah, about $400.
Fucking yikes, dude. I never want to. Well, I mean, when I eventually get the Switch. Yeah, I still don't have one. Fuck me. When I eventually get the Switch, that'll be my last expenditure until I either get a car, unless that happens before I get a Switch, which probably should, in hindsight. But I really want a fucking Switch. I played Smash Ultimate for the first time today. And, like, it feels so damn weird.
Is it too, like, fluty?
It feels way clunkier than 4 ever did. Everything feels heavier, which is fine. But, like, I don't know. It's strange. I have to experiment with it more later on. But I definitely felt it when you first turn on that login screen and it's like oh my god, my dick, it was ready. It couldn't have been ready enough.
Right.
But unfortunately, when I get it, I won't be able to get Piranha Plant because...
Oh, yeah, because you weren't there for the promotion, right?
Yeah. I don't know how we're going to get them now unless you have to pay for them, which I'd be fine doing.
No, yeah, it is. I think right now I just paid DLC.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I did hear it's supposed to be paid DLC after the promotional thing.
Now, if it's not, I'm going to be pissed.
What, paid DLC?
If you just can't get them.
Oh, I'm sure Nintendo has no reason to lock characters out due to, like, seasonal promotion kind of thing.
I don't know. They're partnering with fucking Microsoft and doing stupid shit that I don't like.
Wow, as of late, yes, this is definitely true. But I don't know how to segue from this. I'm like tired.
Speaking of Okasan, no, Okasan is mother, is mom. Okasan, Obasan is aunt or grandma.
Yeah, I said Obasan.
And then Okasan is...
Yeah, mom.
Yeah.
Like informal, right? Because Hahawe is also like the formal way of saying
formal way of saying mother.
Yeah. Like, it's literally saying mother versus mom in, like, English terms. And I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah. Wait. To refer to one's own mother, one is likely to use haha to people outside the family. What the fuck does that mean?
See, this is why language is such a beautiful thing.
What the fuck does that mean? What, you refer to your own mother to other people? What is... Oh, I guess when you say my mother, you say Hahawe-san or whatever. However the fuck. Oh, never mind. It gets it right there. Member of a noble household, especially samurai anime. may address their mother as Hahawe. Yeah, so there you go. So it's the super duper formal way to address your mother.
There you go. How do you guys address your mother?
You call her bitch. Give me my fucking. Give me my chicken tendies. Or do you call your girlfriend mommy?
Yeah. But if you do want to tell us how you address your quote unquote mothers, where can they address us to those interesting comments, Jarron?
You can find us on find us on Facebook. Just search WANNABEABOO on Facebook or Twitter. If you want to listen to us, you can listen to us on YouTube, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, iTunes. Did I say Listen Notes?
I think you did.
The Stitcher app and any other place that might have picked up our RSS feed.
And you guys, if you do also want some good, nice, tender Wannabe merch, come visit our store at Teesprings at I think it's Wannabe Swag. All of the links for contacting us as well as for some merch are in the links down below. And before we continue even further on, we want to give a big shout out to our first fan mail of our time here on the podcasting sphere.
Now, I don't know if this is a female's name or a male's name. I'm not good at either Spanish or Mexican or any other name that's not
We'll just go with
Japanese or English.
We'll just go with first names right now, but they just based off of their first name.
That's a good point. Mr. or Miss Austera, thank you for commenting on or messaging us about our episode when we talked about MMOs and newbie anime.
And that was actually last week's episode.
It was actually last week's episode, so this was pretty recent. You know, before we've been bad about getting back to people commenting. And we want to make sure, you know, as more people start to interact with us, we want to make sure you're acknowledged by us in some way. You know, sorry, that was my phone. If we eventually get to the point where we have millions of people commenting, unfortunately, we can't just rattle on about millions of people. Maybe we'll do it as an anniversary episode where we just literally go through everybody that has subscribed to us, but that'll come when it does. But as for now, thank you, Austera, for being one of our first, our very first inbox messenger on Facebook. Exactly.
I mean, I kind of treat this as fan mail because I guess this person honestly went through the effort of messaging us.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was actually quite thrilled. I mean, we've always been talking about wanting to talk to you guys. Mm-hmm. So again, whether it's one of you guys or two of you guys or however many, we welcome an open conversation.
Right.
And whether it's telling John he's wrong even though you're wrong, or or even talking about just some other games that we missed, because this person, they actually recommended another game that we, I guess, would have been a good edge.
Well, I was talking about trying to find that cyberpunk fantasy punk kind of thing, and Phantasy Star Online 2 would have been a good candidate for that, because I forgot that is completely straight up cyber. Well, actually, it's cyberpunk, because it's if I remember, because I played one of them, I don't remember which one, but it's super cyberpunk. It's you're literally in a computer program cyberpunk kind of shit. But it was a fun experience. I have heard Phantasy Star Online 2 is very popular, but you gotta do an English download patch, stuff like that, blah blah blah. But it is a good game from what I understand after doing a little bit more research. So I will be trying to check it out at some point in time. I cannot promise you when that'll happen, because this week's gonna be hectic, and then I don't know what's gonna be coming up in the next few weeks. But I'll see if you're still in there. I will be glad to be introduced to this game.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. I think another thing is, well, I mean, you guys already know who this person is. We get a new subscriber to our podcasting to the podcast YouTube channel.
Hey.
It's Matthias, but you guys have known Matthias for quite a while. He's been a guest on our show a good number of times.
Twice now.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys want to subscribe to our the YouTube, where the YouTube source is, that's perfectly fine with us. But if you also want to subscribe to the WBA TV YouTube channel, that'd also be a good plus for us as well.
That's right.
Listen to us unnecessarily plugging our own stuff.
I mean, we got to. You got to rep yourself before you can check yourself.
I think
you
it's the
rep
other.
yourself to sex yourself. There we go.
Yes, there we go. But to go in towards today's topic, I remember last week we talked about some baby's first animes. You know, a good beginners, newbie lists. Some to start off with.
Which I think we failed to mention initially. We forgot to talk about what the actual genres were.
Yeah, yes we did.
So let's run through that just real quick, because today we wanted to talk about veterans anime that we feel like every anime fan needs to watch at least once in their entire anime career.
Mm-hmm. Something to like really just something to appreciate. You know.
Right.
Just if you watch a lot of anime, I would hope that some of these you've already watched, or if you plan on watching more, these are some recommendations from us that would go well with your long list as of right now.
And to those newbies, even if you want to jump to the veterans anime, there's nothing wrong with that. But as we explained before, there's not trying to condescend. There's a certain appreciation you gain for certain shows once you've got a lot more behind you.
Yeah, exactly. You can't, like, we want you guys to get really fully comfortable with certain, I guess, slang or even, like, some cultural things as well. Because being able to understand
the
context of a lot of stuff in general.
Right. It's like saying that, it'd be, I guess, equivalent to saying, oh, I can watch this person build a house. I can do that. But you don't understand, like, the little intricacies and, like,
yeah, I feel like that's more like a hipster way of explaining things, but
I mean, I don't know. That's the first thing that came to mind for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, there is some leeway into it, but like it all depends on how much you can handle. To be honest,
right? We're not saying you have to watch like.
It's kind of like if you want to play Pokemon, you don't have to start all the way from yellow or red or red or green.
Exactly.
You can start off in Shield and Sword and still be fine.
That's gonna be a Goonie game, I can tell. But so let's start off just by running through the genres real quick, which will probably give a we'll just pretty much just run through them. So, shonen are typically animes aimed towards boys. So that's your actions, your harems, your
sometimes fantasy.
Sometimes fantasy. I mean, that's one of those that's kind of go anywhere.
Yeah.
But
there's some adventure as well.
Yeah, adventures. Men or women in some cases, because Kill la Kill's a shonen.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I would argue it's a.
Yeah, I guess it's
shonen?
I definitely could see it as a shonen series.
Pretty sure it is. But if it's, I believe Kill la Kill is a shonen. Oh, it's not. It's listed as action, which I guess technically counts.
And MyAnimeList.com likes to, do a lot of different tags and
That's
all that.
True, but
I don't know. For some reason, the first thing that comes to mind, and for my kind of shonen series, are like the kind of cheesy action ones, like.
Well, yeah. So like your fairy tales, your Naruto's, your
even My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia, Black Clover,
DBZ.
Deep Dragon Ball Z is the shonen.
Mm-hmm. One Piece.
One Piece, yeah, stuff like that. And then there's shoujo, which are animes typically aimed towards girls, and this might usually cover things that like in romance and drama and stuff like that,
or even slice of life sometimes.
Or even slice of life. Some good examples would be what's a good shoujo? Fruits Baskets.
Oh yeah.
Or in High School Host Club.
Yuri Yuru or Yuru Yuri.
Yuri, because it's also sometimes where the female's the main character, but again they can bleed depending, because I guess you could call Kill la Kill both a shonen and a shoujo.
Yeah,
because it's got all the action of a shonen, but all the femaleness of a shoujo.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe.
And there is a female lead in that series, so
right. So who knows how to really categorize it? But like it again, typically anime with female protagonists, and typically some sort of romance or drama kind of deal.
Right.
Usually both, or slice of life, stuff like that. What else we got? Moving on to, I guess just the ones that don't have clear titles. So like harem. Yeah. One guy, multiple girls. One girl, multiple guys. Or one guy, multiple guys. One girl, multiple girls.
Yeah. Essentially being main characters surrounded by potential love interests.
Right. Then there's ecchi, which is basically pervy anime.
Yeah. Or very mature themes.
Right.
In terms of the sexual nature.
Right. So that's your like high school DxDs, your
To Love Ruse,
your Dragon Maid to a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
It's very very low tier actually, because I think we talked about tiers before, where it's like
for etchiness, yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, you know, it's kind of pervy. Yeah. Dragon Maid's kind of pervy, a little bit, tiny little bit. There's Lukua and Taru trying to get the dick.
Yeah, it's in its own right. It's somewhat of a ecchi.
Yeah. And then there's shit like Seiko no Quasar, where first fucking episode is like, yeah, look at all these titties that we're gonna harvest for the fucking Soma, and I'm like, okay, it can get out there. Is there another one? Is there another tag that's not easily understood?
Like a staple
tag that
staple tag.
I mean, I guess if you want to call hentai a tag. It's just anime porn.
Do you want to start? Do you want to start with a hentai plug right now?
No, we're good.
Actually, no.
You already know what it is. We've talked about it plenty of times. Fuck you.
That's true. 59 episodes going.
Right.
I kind of want to argue comedy, maybe.
I mean, comedy. It's a little different from what you might be used to comedy. So right. I mean, obviously, we have comedy shows here in America. Most cartoons. Like your Drake and Josh's and shit like that. But obviously we have our humor and they have theirs.
That's true.
Recently, it seems like they're trying to bridge that barrier, but in certain animes, which we'll talk about, in the veterans list, there are some that are really Japanese.
Yeah, like you have again. It's one of those where you have to watch a lot of anime to like pick up on certain contexts and like even certain cultural jokes to like to just even understand the joke. You don't have to laugh at it, but you just kind of get why it's a joke,
right?
Or why it's supposed to be funny in that context of whatever is used in.
Right.
I mean, that's the case, and then the only other tag I can think of is romance, and that's also a really big one that has a lot of. It spreads out a lot, but romance is usually like a big one in general.
Yeah, that is true.
Like,
that is true.
Like a lot of big shows that are romance, like Clannad, Fruits Basket is another one. Toradora.
Let's see, a recent one. I guess Love is War. That's a rom-com.
But literally, it's also a good. It's romance and comedy, but still romance is like the main theme of that series.
Easily my favorite rom-com in existence right now. Like it's so damn. I will sing that anime's praise forever.
Dome Kano. Domestic Nakano, Joe.
Yeah.
That's when your like romance drama is when it gets like juicy and gets all like
But in that case you wouldn't necessarily call it a shonen, because shonen typically deals only with action.
Yeah, exactly. Where like romance is a lot of like, because what's one of the cool things I like about romance series, it can go either way. It can either go like happy romance or like really like fucking, sad romance. What Scum's a Wish?
Yeah, Scum's a Wish. Fucking.
Oh yeah, or even like fake love, Koi to Uso.
Yeah. Yeah, where it can get real spooky, and Jarron says no.
Exactly, the real spooky kind where there's like heartbreaking, or I guess even like what is it? School Days even can be considered a romance drama to that degree.
Yeah, it would be.
A lot of shit happens because of some questionable.
Let's not talk about School Days.
Questionable romantic gestures.
I don't want to talk about School Days anymore. But we gotta, cause it's so Let's just get out of the way.
Yeah.
We'll start the veterans list. We'll start with romances. What are some romance animes that you have to watch?
Okay.
School Days is one of them, because you have to understand what the quote unquote realistic approach someone might make if they were presented with a harem.
Actually, yeah, I could probably agree with that.
Because you have to really understand the pain of it. I mean, obviously he's the main character is a piece of shit, the biggest piece of shit. I get into it. He's a piece of shit, but to make it, I guess, more evident, it's if you watch harm animes before where everything just kind of makes sense if you're a nice person.
I mean, okay, so going back to that then,
Yeah.
Should they start? Oh no, oh yeah, this is a veterans list. So
Yeah.
again,
So
let's kind of before we continue on, let's kind of get a clear perception. What is the veteran list, Jarron?
veterans list is a list of animes that you should watch if you have a decent amount of anime under your belt already. So you've already explored all the genres. You've already seen shows in them. Maybe you've seen some shows that are on the veterans list already.
Yeah,
Which is perfectly fine. It just means that
you're ahead of the game.
You're ahead of the game essentially, because these are shows that we just feel kind of need to be watched. Now we won't get everything that probably needs to be on the list, but because it's just based on our opinion.
Exactly.
And the fact that it's 1 a.m.
Exactly. And our opinions are always right.
Right. So you can add upon our opinions, but you can't take them away.
Exactly. But
it's
if you want,
only a growing collective.
We are one mind, one weeb.
You're right.
But yeah. So school days, definitely. A dark romance.
A dark romance is a good. It's an older series. I think it came out in 2006. Yeah, because I remember we looked it up beforehand.
Pretty much like that era.
It's like It's like the OG dark romance.
Yeah, it really is the OG dark romance of its time.
And maybe not literally the original, but like the most popular original.
Yeah, the most recognizable.
Right,
most
recognizable.
At least by name, it's recognizable.
Right. Enough to still set people fucking.
So that'd be your recommendation for?
Yeah, that would be my recommendation for
a dark romance.
A romance anime that you have to watch.
Okay. Just curious. Are we setting kind of rules here, like time? Like,
no, there's as many as you think. Any that you think of that we can put in, because again, it's not less like an official list. These are still our own personal recommendations. So I mean, watch them at your liberty. But we're just kind of giving off a good idea of what to look for once you've again got those animes under your belt, because we're not saying that because you haven't watched these that you're not a fan. No, by all means you still are. It's just like it good ways to broaden your perspective of that genre, I suppose. So let's say you only watched regular romance animes where there was a happy ending. You could watch School Days and get the that different perspective, a different idea. So that's it's kind of. Am I explaining that right? Where it's like,
no, yeah,
it's expanding on the idea of what the genre is.
Yeah. Okay. In my case, Your Lie in April.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I'm going with this one. This is like what 2014. 2014, relatively recent.
Right.
A real tearjerker. If you're, as you advance on, sometimes this is why I like, especially for something like Your Lie in April. I want you guys to be comfortable enough to like even cry during certain series.
Right.
Because this is why, especially, and I will recommend this in the original Japanese dub. That's why, just because the voice acting.
Because it's gonna be it's gonna be voiced way better.
But not only that, but like, Your Lie in April is because it's it's a romance series. It's also not so much dark, but it's a lot of I wouldn't say even sadness either. It's just a lot of character development that builds up into something that is painfully beautiful. If I had to like put it together in a non-spoilery kind of way. Definitely something to invest in, since a lot of, you follow a lot of the characters. Definitely something to really invest in when it comes to understanding each character's perspective on certain things as they progress through the series. So
about pianos,
violins. It's also one of my favorites because I personally connect to it because I'm also a former musician. You know, anyone that's ever played an instrument can relate to this musically.
Yeah.
Also,
great score.
Yeah, great score. One of the great best soundtracks I've heard, and like especially music based animes, really done really well.
Right.
So that would be my pick for this tag.
My other one, personally, would be like to feel the an OG romance is Clannad.
Oh yes.
Because it kind of has an element of both animes, both Your Lie and April, and both. I guess not really School Days, other than things not always working out the way they should, kind of idea.
If anything, Clannad is also. Clannad is sort of like the polar opposite of the realism. Mm-hmm. No, another realism approach in a polar opposite way from School Days, where it's more happy. It's a lot more lighthearted, obviously.
Right.
It's still quite deep and emotional, but in a more hopeful outlook.
Right. At least until the end of the first season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jarron can probably tell you it's his emotional scars from Clannad.
Now, I've watched this anime 7 times. I've cried the first time I watched it. It wasn't really even at a sad scene. It was because it was a happy scene. It's just when main characters cry, I just can't. I'm already empathizing with them, so I go with them. But it wasn't really a sad scene. It was at a really happy scene. I just couldn't handle it. Mm-hmm. But then it's still all the stuff that happened later on just fucking crushes your soul.
Exactly.
It's good because it means if it's doing that, now you don't have to necessarily look for it, but if you feel it, that means you're connecting with the characters. That means it's serving its purpose. You're feeling what the characters feel.
Oh, definitely. Whenever I go back, like rewatch Clannad clips, I went to high school with these kids.
Yeah.
Because we essentially we watched it the first time during our high school years.
Right.
It not only brings me nostalgia, but like I can still feel the emotion within myself from these scenes, and it's like I honestly would like people that have good amount of experience to like really delve into the series. Granted, it is a long series.
Yeah.
2 seasons.
Are both 24?
Yeah, around that 24, 25. It's a 2 each season is a 2-core. Mm-hmm. It's a 2-core series, so it definitely is an invested watch. I have heard some complaints about it, having it being very slow.
It is very slow.
Only because like a lot of it has to do with character development.
Right.
Because they really take the time to really show every character and how the main character is involved with every character, and in a way, it's actually a relatively accurate representation of the game itself. Because in a way, the way for you to get the true ending in the game, you kind of have to get the player, also the main character, has to be involved with every other individual within the game as well to get that true ending. So, in a way, this is sort of like if you don't play the game, the anime itself would be a close enough representation of the experience you would have to go through if you weren't playing the game.
Right. And if you didn't notice by now, for this list, we're doing our best not to spoil anything specifically because, again, the recommendations, it would kind of be shitty to
just
tell you the whole story and then so go watch it.
Yeah, exactly. We want to give you guys the what we think is the best. Mm-hmm. If you really want to step up to the big boys like us, get into wannabe
territory. Get that big dick on that table, boy.
Exactly. But yeah, Clannad definitely go one. Mm-hmm. Oh, and a little bit of a segue or a little bit of a side note on this end. ASIN of this year, 2019, the voice actress of Nagisa is gonna be coming to ASIN, and I'm bringing my dongo with me. I'm gonna have her sign that dongo.
Just have her spit on it.
Hey. I mean, I don't know if it might be too much to ask. I don't know if it'll be too much to ask.
She wouldn't do
it. To sing the dongo song.
No, I'm pretty sure she's gonna get too many people to ask her to do that.
well, we've got enough people to ask. Maybe she can do it for all of us. You know, like
maybe
a
mini concert.
Yeah, or we all did it together, like dango, dango. I don't want to get copy strike, but
And then as it goes into Japanese, everyone's like,
well, I see. As a high school weeb, I took the time to learn the lyrics in original Romanji Japanese.
I wish you could see my face right now because I'm making a very offensive face towards Jomel.
Hey, I'm a wannabe boo for that reason. But yeah, Clannad, great series for that romance. Really, really gushy, to be honest. Like really, literally, the dango is no better representation of that series.
Yeah.
If you don't know what dango is, it's essentially, I mean, it's based off of like a dumpling, but
Yeah.
it's like a little squishy dumpling.
Yeah.
That.
Little cutie pie.
But more on that later. Watch it, cry about it, and
learn something from it.
Yeah, learn something from it, if anything.
Yeah, because I mean, it's got a lot of both the second and first series. I mean, while you might not be able to, depending on how old you are when listening to this, if you're in high school, it's got a lot of that. If you're in college, it's got a lot of that. A lot to look forward to. If you're in high school, transition into college, shit like that, it's like it has a lot for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And you really get to see these characters grow.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally transition in their life.
Right.
And it's
everyone gets older.
Exactly, and
everyone gets older.
It's a very somber series, to say the least.
Yeah.
But we got to move on here, Jarron.
Yeah, we sure do.
So
that was romance. Lots of good stuff to look at. Again, not a complete full list, but just a lot of our recommendations. I do want to go to a, I guess maybe not action, but like, good idea going to the different tags and shit. Jomel, because I didn't even think to. Holy shit! Do we want to go through all these?
well, we can always kind of scroll through them and
Yeah, we can hit a few. So I guess the first one on my anime list that we should have just gone through in the first place is like action. So what's a good action anime?
yeah. And mind you, action will fall underneath like shonen and adventure.
It's actually shonen. Oh no, wait, shoujo's on here. But where's shonen? Oh, there it is. Never mind. Oh, because it's going in. It's orders left to right.
Yeah.
Not up and down. Okay, so yeah, shonen and shoujo are there as well as action and romance. So
Now,
it may be a little confusing, but
exactly. Now, right off the bat, we may lose some people for this, but SEO. At least something again for. Let you know, SEO.
I wouldn't say as a veteran though.
But I'm talking about like continuing off of that. Because if you really want to continue it, because as this season 2, as currently season 3, if you want to continue that story, it does get a little bit more heavy as well. Even the movies, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Because you get to see Asuna's titties.
Well, the Blu-ray version, you have to buy that.
Oh yeah.
To see the titties. But the advancement of that, but besides that, in terms of a veterans list or something you should be watching in terms of action, how basic you want to go with this? How basic action, especially for like
you already know what I'm gonna recommend for action.
Okay.
If you don't watch Gurren Lagann, stop watching this podcast right now. No, I genuinely recommend Gurren Lagann, not just because it's my favorite anime, not just because we've talked about it quite a few times beforehand.
Now, and you don't have a hard on for Trigger.
Not because I don't have a hard on because I have a hard on for Trigger. Nothing like that. It's purely because looking back to what Gurren Lagann was, it is a perfect embodiment of everything a shonen is.
Yeah. It's got the monologues. It's got the was it macho y macho?
Super machismo.
Like
super duper.
Action scenes and
beautiful action
even the
scenes.
Dialogue is very machismo, and it's
Yeah.
like for like Kamen, or even like what's the his rival?
Viral?
Yeah, Viral.
Yeah.
Even he has like that kind of like stereotypical like villain type embodiment.
Honestly, everyone fucking has some sort of super cool monologue at some point, and it's great. It makes me so let me calm down. I'm about to start fanboying.
Right, exactly.
Like I said, embodiment of everything that is shonen. Just in like between like how serious of topics it can cover, to just how ridiculous it can be, to even the whole my friendship is my power kind of bullshit, where literally like they draw power from their will and like use that to fight their enemies, and it's literally ridiculous.
And it grows exponentially.
It's literally this is a show about one-upping itself.
Exactly. Like Trigger's always trying to one up itself. In every series, and this is one of those series that'll try to one up itself every single damn time.
Well, I mean, it's technically Gynax, but
Trigger Gynax. This is that diversion period.
When they split, and became their own thing. But that's why on the tail end of that, I also recommend Kill la Kill.
Mm-hmm.
Same people, same animation style,
same level of like
ridiculousness and one-uppingness. But with a different take on, like, instead of giant robots, it's now they're magical girls, but they're all super slutty.
It's about individualism.
It's about there's a message. There's a higher. You have to have an IQ of 234 to actually understand what Kill la Kill is about. If you don't, you're just a peasant.
Well, it's pretty dope. It's really dope.
It's really dope. So I'm putting those two recommendations together.
All right. Okay. Now for me, I'm gonna have my own. I'm recommending this because not because I'm a fanboy, nor am I a huge follower of the lore as well as its characters and its development, but the entirety of the Fate series. Now, mind you,
oh boy,
again, this is a veterans list.
Oh boy,
so Fate. If you're ever brave enough, going down the Fate rabbit hole, especially nowadays, is gonna be a fucking trip.
Oh boy.
So, going from, if I wanted to start off with anything from the Fate series, Fate Zero, just because that kind of kicks off Fate in the most basic and easily digestible way of its universe.
Not its first episode, but...
Well, first episode is like...
It's really meaty.
It's meaty, but the thing, the reason why it's so meaty, because it literally explains the entirety of its purpose.
Yeah, I think it's 48 minutes of pretty much exposition before it really gets into it.
Seriously.
But it's worth getting past that exposition episode to really get into the show.
Not just getting past it, but digesting all the exposition and really understanding what the hell's going on.
Right, especially with the bug rape.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, but...
See, we should just leave him with that.
Exactly, but essentially, anything from Fate, if I were to start with it, especially going into it, Fate Zero, just because that kicks off the basics of what the main story is about, which is essentially Holy Grail. There's a Holy Grail, and you have a bunch of mages trying to fight to death for it.
You gotta do them one better. You gotta give them a little bit of a list. I know it starts to diverge and get weird.
Yeah. Okay. So, essentially, there's a main timeline when it comes to the Fate universe or the Natsuverse. In order, if you were to watch it in order, I would watch it in order of Fate Zero. If you don't mind animation quality, Fate Stay Night by Studio Dean. Mm-hmm. That is a bit of a dated series, maybe 06. Mm-hmm. It's not as shiny as Ufortable's recent series. Mm-hmm. But continuing from that, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, which is the second arc of Fate Stay Night. Because Fate Stay Night itself is a game that has 3 different arcs.
Careful.
I know. I'm trying my best because fine. There's Fate Zero, start with that, and then there's Fate Stay Night. Fate Stay Night itself is split up into 3 different arcs, because there are 3 different ways of telling the story of Fate Stay Night. Mm-hmm. Told in 3 different perspectives of the war, of the entirety of the war, where you have Studio Dean's Fate Stay Night, where it focuses on
people die if they're killed.
People dying if they're killed. The memes. There is Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, which is I'm the bone of my sword. And then there is Fate Stay Night Heaven's Field, which is currently
bug rape.
Yeah, bug rape
and more rape.
Yeah, which is essentially right now it's currently a 3-part movie series. The second movie just came out as of recently, so when this comes out, the third movie has yet to come out yet. But whenever that does come out, you can watch all 3 wherever. You probably have to buy it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Buy the Blu-ray of that. I've actually seen parts 1 and 2 in theaters themselves. So if you ever get a chance to, get it on Blu-ray or a DVD, something of a hard copy. And then that's it. That's the main timeline of Fate.
Then there's spin-offs, but watch those at your leisure.
That's because Fate, the whole Nasuverse drifts off from the main timeline because the whole main timeline is only just Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night. That's it. And everything else from like Fate Clyde or Fate Apocrypha or Fate
Extella,
and there's Fate Extra CCCCC or
and then Fate. There's a black hole in my titties.
Yeah, well, at this point we're talking about the games as well.
Yeah,
but in anime wise, it does diverge. There's even Fate Grand Order, like the popular mobile game. Yeah. That even got its own little anime series, like a mini series as well. And then you have the other spin-off shows of the Nasuverse itself, which I'm not gonna get into that. Just start off with Fate Zero, and take my advice and just go with Fate Zero, and to be honest with you, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Those 2 should be enough for you to cover in terms of the feel of the Fate universe. So, but understand that you guys are gonna be delving some heavy lore.
Oh yeah.
So just understand that. But I'm expecting you guys to be well trained, and I have high expectations for you veterans out there. That was action, right? Yeah.
Yep, that was action.
Do you want to do one more?
We should give a more recent one.
A more recent one, okay.
Give us a moment to kind of find one. I mean, I guess you could argue One Punch Man, but I think we get it. We already talked about Boku no Hero being a good entry anime.
Oh, how about something? Do you want me?
Megalobox.
Yes. Actually, yeah. Well, for a veteran series?
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, it's good in its own right. Don't get me wrong. We were arguing over whether it should be fucking anime of the year.
Yeah. All right, how about this? Again, heavy dialogue. You have to pay attention to every fucking thing, otherwise you get lost. The Tuara Majutsu no Index series. Jarron's making a face right now, just like the same face I said about Fate.
Well, because
again, this is a veteran series.
It is a veteran series, but like
I want to really,
in terms of needing to watch other shows to get it.
Well, no, I know. Honestly, you don't need to, because Tuara Majutsu no Index, you only need season 1, 2, and then currently season 3. That's it, because it does have a Railgun series, which is a spin-off of the side characters. You don't really need to know. They also want to know more about the city itself,
right?
Because the Index series is mostly about the war between the church and science. So I like, if you guys haven't noticed, I like heavy dialogue and usually convoluted plot lines.
Right.
Only because, like, when you evolve to certain series, you kind of want a little bit more depth with your characters. So as of right now, there are 3 seasons. The 3rd season as of right now is still live. So, but you have a lot to catch up on with season 1 and 2, which are like, I think 25 episodes each.
Right.
So really a healthy amount of watch. But yeah, Tuaru Mojutsu no Index, Tuaru Mojutsu no Index. Another one I just realized, Ron. Steins Gate.
For action? I don't think it would go under action.
You sure?
No, that would definitely go under drama.
We didn't really kind of put it in. We never put drama in its own tag though.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We haven't gotten there yet. We're still in A.
Okay, fine. Then how long do you expect this podcast to be?
We're gonna.
Fine.
We'll
get
if they start to overlap, then we'll move on.
Yeah,
For example, like action and adventure kind of blend together, but if you want to talk about like in terms of world building and actual exploration, I'd say Made in Abyss is an absolute must watch. One sleeper hit that I really liked was I just looked at it before. It's like Ordinary Life in a post-apocalyptic world. Fuck, what was it called? No, it won a couple awards in the mine anime awards before. Shit, I don't remember what it was called. It was, two girls in a tank rolling around in a post-apocalyptic world.
Oh, fuck.
What was it called?
Action, though? For action, though? We're still on action.
No, for adventure.
Oh, adventure. Oh, yeah.
Because we already did those. This is just like a quick dabble in those. And then if you want to look at like a good, like grounded isekai, because those I guess we would also count as adventure. I would say Grimgar as a pure harrowing isekai.
Grimgar and the Ash.
Because I mean, don't get me wrong, there's other good isekais, but that one, in my opinion, is just like a raw isekai.
Like it's about as vanilla as it gets for isekai in a sense.
But it like hits every single pin that it needs to hit for a really good isekai. Plus, it's just really fucking good. See what else we got. We're not gonna do a fucking car anime. Go fucking watch. What is it?
Initial D.
Initial D. If you want a good car anime. Oh no, Redline. Redline's a good racing anime, but that one you could also call a really good action anime. So yeah, overlap. Comedy. Comedy's very important.
It's also very subjective.
Very subjective, but let's hit this in terms of
enjoyment.
Not again. That's super subjective. I mean, like understanding Japanese comedy.
Okay. So
because there's a couple angles you have to come at it. So for example, like pure regular Japanese comedy, I would say you have to watch an anime like Nichijou. Right. Or after you've watched a couple before, jump into Nichijou because there's a lot of jokes in that show that just don't make much sense to this day. But that's just because there's a cultural difference that I might not be catching. And Nichijou is just like pure, unadulterated slapstick Japanese comedy. And I just think it like I don't know, it hits. It shows you basically just what they I guess would purely find funny in a cute slice of life anime about three girls, a robot, a child genius, and their weird high school classmates. It's just basically just a pure idea of what their comedy is. I'd say that's a pretty good watch just to understand what Japanese comedy looks like and what you might be looking for, because there's a lot of jokes that kind of translate other places. Like for example, using unnecessary amounts of animation to make something look cool. Something as simple as catching a sausage out of the air looks super fucking cool. Right. Or their Helvetica standard segments where it's just really super fucking what am I watching kind of comedy. But it works because again, you may not understand it. It may not even really be funny, but it's just a different form of joke. Right.
Okay. I want to throw this one in there too. Kore wa Nozomi desu ka? Okay. Do you want me to explain?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. What is it about? It's one of those like, it's almost as absurd in a sense because there's a lot. Like, the comedy in that one is actually really easy to get, but it's like, it's okay. It can also be easily missed at the same time. Like I think it's one of those series that you wanna like, it's like be in the backseat of. And just enjoy the show in terms of like its characters and whatever they fumble around doing. Right. And what I do like about it is that as the show goes on, it does start developing its own like little jokes and memes. So you start to catch on because it's almost like it's a reference to what they've done in the past before. So, and plus the characters are the characters are fucking loony as well.
Right, of course.
And it's not like as traditional as like Japanese humor, but it's more so just like what is it? No, I won't say obscene, but just wacky situations and the countermeasures they have to take in order to get through it and or overcome it.
Right. It's like a good it's a good staple in what you might see in any other like harem-esque slapstick anime, where it's typically just the one guy and all the girls that are surrounding him, and him doing things to either keep them happy, or them doing things to show their affection for him. But in this one, it's typically in twisted ways because all the girls are strange, and one of them just doesn't like him. The when you actually get the tsundere that doesn't like you, that's I don't know. I think that's a good origin of where that joke comes from. Another one I would say is Konosuba.
All right.
And again, this one would be more veteran because you kind of have to watch a couple isekai to
get the stereotypes.
To get the stereotypes, because that's what it plays on, is the whole, person dies in real life, goes to a different world and becomes a hero. Well, I mean, that kind of happens, but like if it was a sitcom and nothing did go right for any of the characters ever.
It's only funny because you understand how it's supposed to work, but it doesn't work.
Right.
So, just kind of having to have the ins and nose.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also one more. What is it? Watamote.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to put I guess if you were to make cringe into a tag, this would be it.
Yeah.
Only because this is one of those series that you really got that. If it resonates with you, you can empathize with the character.
Right.
Not because you probably don't relate with her, but just being able to understand what it would be like being in her shoes at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more so slice of life, so it's a lot more. It is a lot more relatable just because of the situations that it could happen to you, but it could not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hard to watch her go through those situations.
Oh yeah, it's cringy as
but
shit.
It's a hilarious cringy because she kind of overcomes it in her own way, quote unquote. But you kind of wanted to root for her in every episode.
Just real quick, another good one would be Baka Test.
Oh.
Specifically because, again, that one touches on the whole harem idea. But, multiple characters have different girls coming after them. But this one takes a slight approach to the ecchi idea, because there's some ecchi scenes in it. And I guess that helps you understand that part of... I mean, I guess you don't see it very much anymore these days.
I know what you're talking about. It's kind of like...
It's like the classic high school comedy anime where some of the girls have big titties and sometimes those girls get in a slightly sexual situation.
Is that even classic?
With the main characters.
It's kind of like standard. Like a standard...
An old standard, yeah.
Old standard where... I won't say it's very cookie cutter, but everyone fits in their place.
Right.
And it's... I don't know... It's definitely a weird. It's a definitely kind of a specific feeling when you're watching it.
Yeah, and I'd say this one definitely translates that pretty well. Plus, being a pretty decent, pretty good comedy. Because again, it's coming at that standard, typical kind of romancy, ecchi kind of show.
And it does develop its own jokes that do play out throughout the rest of the series.
Actually, it's was one of the very first trap animes, and probably coined the word.
Oh, right. That's true. Are you allowed to say that right now? Allowed now.
Look, if you're a weeaboo and you understand what a trap is, it's not supposed to be derogatory. It's literally just it's a character type.
It's a meme, if anything.
Yeah, it's a meme, if anything. But
I kind of have to bring it up because that is a hot take nowadays.
It is, but let's just chill out.
Amen to that. We're gonna move on from comedy.
Yeah.
I know we're not gonna go through this entire list.
No, we're just gonna really kind of go, because there's fucking dementia. What? What the fuck? Yeah, no, we're not gonna hit all these. Drama.
All right, I'm going back to Steins Gate now and then.
All right.
Advanced players, same deal with me. Slow starting, but a lot of shit that goes down. For Jarron, one word: spooky.
Yeah, it's real spooky. It's any time anime just fucks with me, dude. Any time, for example, Kingdom Hearts
Mm-hmm.
started talking about time and shit, and I'm like, can we just stop? I don't want to think about it because Steins Gate ruined me. It's like you go back time, you jump timelines and shit, and you can go back in time. You can do all that. No, I don't
Messing
want
with
it.
the natural order and things.
It's so much convoluted BS that they built so well off of, and I hate them for it. Because Steins Gate fucking kills me.
There, and not just that, Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero, which is the alternate timeline. If you really wanna, it technically is a sequel, but more so the better route of the main Steins Gate timeline.
Right.
So, but great watch. 20 some episodes, definitely a 2-core series. It's honestly it's simple, but at the same time it's a lot to take in.
Right.
So,
one particularly good one is because it basically started its own idea of cute moe things, but everything goes wrong while still remaining super cute. Is a Madoka Magica.
Of course.
Madoka Magica. If you've ever heard of it, I'm sure you have, and if you haven't, again, veterans. This is one you should watch because you're at least familiar with the magical girl genre by now.
Right.
And let's say you didn't necessarily watch the newer shows that tackle a similar subject, like what is it, Mahou Shoujo Secret Service, whatever it's called. There's one out now called Magical Girl, like Spec Ops or something like that.
Yeah. I think I don't know what you're talking about.
There's ones like Spice the Life that came out season before.
I think it's Girls in the Spice.
Girls in Spice, that one.
Yeah.
There was a Mahou Shoujo Battle Royale. Mahou Shoujo meaning Magical Girl.
Yeah.
It was a Battle Royale one where that one was bloody. There was one where like they got powers, but everyone was shitty with them. I don't know, but basically I keep trying to say Madoka Magica. I'm gonna call it Madoka Magica, but it's Madoka Magica. Essentially started, hey, this is cute, but let's turn it on its head.
Yeah,
it's gonna remain cute, but everything's twisted and shitty.
Exactly, cute but fucked up.
Yeah, it literally started that, which is pretty cool. I'm
gonna jump in here with a little bit of an oldie classic series, but it still holds up today. I think I mentioned this before. Wait, did I mention it as a newbie? Eureka 7?
Sure. Yeah, you did mention it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bitch.
Okay, fine. Because if not that, then I definitely would for another veteran show of drama. I would go with Guilty Crown.
Okay.
One of my personal favorites. It's drama because it ties in with the idea of war and having to there's a lot of like choices in the series where characters have to make certain choices to receive the outcomes they want, but sometimes they can't always get the outcomes they want. So it's kind of the consequences of having to make a choice and having to choose one thing over another. Great animation. Honestly, it's a relatively simple story to follow, but the character dynamics is what made it interesting. So having the main character essentially like evolve to what he's become,
right,
as well as seeing him interact with all the other characters and how all the other characters not only help him evolve, but how he has influenced the other characters themselves. That turns how the war ended up and how certain conflicts develop and how certain conflicts end. So it's a good watch. It's another one of those 2-core series, which is like 24 or 25 episodes roughly. But honestly, that was probably one of my first like kind of heavy drama shows after like that was like outside of the mainstream realm, so to speak. That was it the non-tsunami route, I guess you'd say. Right. Because this is definitely something I had to watch online way back in the day, back in high school. So Guilty Crown, definitely a great watch. It's pretty cool. It's got some kind of sciencey punk kind of thing going on there, but like not magic, but it's technology that makes it look all advanced and crap. We're pulling swords out of beautiful girls,
right,
and battling giant robots.
That's all we want to do is sheath and unsheath our swords and girls.
Exactly, and being cool while being. It's also one of my first edgy series as well.
Yeah, no, it's real edgy.
It's one of those like dramatic edgy, like really drama edgy. So it's on the edge side of drama in this case, where you get a bit of a incompetent main character, but he evolves, but still broods, but he does evolve to becoming a better person, throughout the rest of the series. Definitely something I would recommend from the bottom of my heart.
I do have a couple more, and I say a couple more particularly because drama is kind of an important and I guess wide-ranging topic in anime. One is Elfen Lied, particularly because that just gives takes that whole, can anime handle mature topics or stuff, and is it gore? Yes, it is. Go watch Elfen Lied.
Anime is actually quite a wide medium.
Yeah. Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because those are easily cult classics, as well as along with like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, excellent examples again of animes being able to handle mature topics, have an atmospheric world without giving like a shit ton of exposition. Well, okay, Full Metal Alchemist is a little exposition-y sometimes, but just be able to maintain an interesting world, as well as loving characters that you kind of just grow with as everything goes on. But I said Full Metal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop, and Samurai Champloo. Yeah. And particularly because, again, I shit on dubs a lot, but those are three excellent examples of English dubbing done well. And we're gonna miss that generation of good dubbing, because now it still fucking sucks.
Well, yeah, it hasn't been as good as the golden age of English dubbing in the past.
Yeah, everyone needs to understand what good dubbing sounds like, so that they have a bar to set.
Actually, that's one thing we completely forgot about, the newbie set. Dubbing versus subbed.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. We again, I always say watch things in dubs or subs, but certain things are good in dubs. For example, I guess this can also go on the veterans list for at least watching good dubs. Again, Full Metal Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, something like Bacano, where you can feel like you can get accents and stuff. Something like Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, you can get the idea of what happens when American voice actors are able to have fun with characters and kind of, they stick to what the characters were in Japanese, but put their own spin on it. And I guess in that anime's case, their own raunchy spin on it. I think there was one more that I wanted to mention, but I can't find it anymore.
If I were to throw in one more in terms of drama, the Berserk movies.
Oh yeah,
the Golden Age movies on Netflix.
Yeah. This is really, honestly, just to get to see how dark anime can get.
Exactly,
It's
but
fucking
not only,
Berserk's fucking.
not only that, but like how depth a lot of the writing can be as well. And to be honest with you, at this point, for you guys, if you were to ever start Berserk and you kind of want to watch it, just watch the 3 movies and then read the rest, to be honest with you.
Yeah, don't touch the new stuff. The new series.
Yeah, like the recent ones that came out, the completely CG
Garbage
series.
fires.
Because the three Netflix movies, essentially are it's a setup to the main story of the rest of Berserk in general. So it's actually a good way to start the Berserk series. You got excellent writing when it comes to its characters and how each character kind of fleshes out into why they've become that way as time progresses, and how certain conflicts ended up creating the events to what happens in the main story of Berserk.
Right.
And the new the new movies also encapsulate a good rendition of like the 90s classic series of back in the day, because you could also watch that too, but these new movies really do it justice. I do know that the 90s series does, you know, show quite a little bit more, since it's not compacted into one movie.
Right.
So it's more episodic than it is a movie based. But if you wanted something a little bit more modern in a sense, where it's got a little bit more touched up and a little bit more easy on the eyes, especially for a veteran viewer, definitely the movie series is definitely a great watch. And then just read the rest, because you can't get any better quality than the manga itself.
You won't get any better quality, especially since, again, they made super shitty dubs. Jesus. And CG animation.
Actually, honestly, too, this is actually one of those where they did a really good job with the dubs for the movies of Berserk. Yeah. Surprisingly, so they did a good job. I still felt a lot of awe and good moments. There's even, like, especially with the one specific scene where you can really hear the pain of a character. They really sell it. Like, it's really good.
Right.
Even if it was an English dub. So, I mean, granted, it's probably because it's a movie budget. So they have to work a little bit harder. But definitely would not skip on it as a dub. And if you have a Netflix account, you should definitely watch all three. It's the Berserk, the Golden Age. Yeah, I think the Golden Age arc. The first movie is called Berserk, and the Egg of the King. Egg King, the King of the.
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Too spooky for me.
Really, even for you, Jarron?
People, his fucking girlfriend gets raped in front of him. I'm good.
What would you say about spoiling shit?
It happens in the first couple episodes.
No.
Yes.
Not in the movies.
Doesn't it? I
No.
thought it happens in, like, almost immediate. Oh no, because they set it up and then it happens. Well, it's not, like, very far in the series, so fuck you.
Yeah. Well, the first movie is called Berserk, the Golden Age arc, the Egg of the King. That's the very first one, because my mother actually started watching it because she was kind of in an anime mood, and so she kind of pulled up Berserk. I'm like, I turned around, this is Berserk. What the fuck is going on? And she actually was about to watch the third movie. I'm like, hold on. Let me show you the first one. This is where you start, and then we can keep going. But the fact that she was interested in watching Berserk, I mean, she's actually quite a veteran. She's the one that introduced me to anime. So,
all right, fair enough.
That's my Okasan giving me the weeb.
Passing it down.
Exactly. I am blessed in this case. But yeah, definitely Berserk. Egg of the King. That's the first movie. If you have a Netflix account, go ahead and watch it, and get ready for some pretty hard dramatic stuff.
If you thought Goblin Slayer and stuff were like that, were fucking anything, like, their anime are still trying to call back to Berserk.
For real.
Like, this is like the veteran anime. I mean, you don't need multiple shows to get it. It's like, it is what it is because it started it all. Like, this is the OG dark anime. Like I said, raped in front of his face. It's not great.
Any other tags we're missing at this point?
There was one more.
Main staples.
Well, there was one anime that I forgot to mention in terms of
drama,
comedy, romance, and stuff. It was the Monogatari series.
Oh, right.
Now, I have to recommend it again. Second favorite show. Do my best not to fanboy here. One, I recommend this if you, again, have anime in your, a lot of anime in your pocket, and you think you're good at reading subtitles. You are not until you watch Bakemonogatari, because they talk very, very fast, and there's a lot going on screen as they do it.
If anything, this is the test to see how quickly you can adapt.
Right, without having to pause, look, and then go back. It also, again, once you get a good understanding of, like, all the tropes in animes, like, your tsunderes, your kuderes, your your smart girls, your dumb girls, your sport tomboys, your all that. Once you get it's just good general idea, you watch the Monogatari series and then let it turn all of that on its head.
Now, where do they start? Because you're just saying it in terms of like.
Okay.
As we know, there's like what a bunch of them.
There's movies. There's a bunch of shit. It's similar to like Fate in terms of complexity, except when it quote unquote technically starts, that's like midway through the story
of the Monogatari series.
Yes, like the first season is the second or the third adventure technically.
Still, though, where do they start?
So start with. I'm not gonna don't start in actual chronological order because I mean I guess you could, but
I mean is it one of those situations where everything is told into context? Like in terms like you said, the first season is technically the third adventure.
Yeah.
But if you were to watch it during its live appearances, meaning that
you would still get it because they reference back and explain it just enough to like get you interested in what happened before, but it's not terribly important for you to like, oh my god, I have to know.
Right.
So start with Bakemonogatari, and then go to Nisei Monogatari.
Yeah, I think Nisei is the second one.
Oh my god, I forgot what the order was. I want to at the very least say start with Bakemonogatari, end with the 2 movies, 3 movies, because the 3 movies are the very start to what happened in the genre in the show, and then there's Neko Monogatari, White and Black, which is the second adventure. Then there's Bakemonogatari, which is where it quote unquote starts. Then there's Nisei, and I think Nisei 2. And then it gets a little the timeline gets a little strange. Sometimes there's Owari Monogatari. There's Kuzo Monogatari, which happens way in the future, where the main character is like an adult or he's like in his 20s. There's the one out now this season that I forgot to watch that I really need to. I don't even remember what that one's called, so good luck with that. There's a lot to watch, but again, you can start with Bakemonogatari, then go to Nisei and like second season, blah blah blah, whatever, and then watch the Neko Monogatari and then Kizu Monogatari, which are the movies. You can watch them really. Honestly, you can watch any of them in any order. Just if you're going to do that, start with either the movies or Bakemonogatari, and then you can go wherever the fuck you want.
No, because a lot of it, it's like I asked earlier. It's a lot of it gets
referenced back to all the time.
Okay. So there's always enough context.
Right. There's always they will never leave you high and dry. You always have some kind of context.
Okay.
Even if you were to start with the later seasons after Bakemonogatari, they reference back to the first one enough for you to like
get it.
To get it. So yeah, it's one of the things that I really loved. And like I said, in terms of turning tropes on their head, they take your classic tsundere and actually give her a reason why she's kind of a bitch to people starting out. You know, she has fucking childhood traumas and shit, stuff like that. They take your super smart character and say, yeah, she's always, cool, sweet, charming, ultimate waifu material. Also because she's got some shit going on at home that in order to, keep any sort of sanity in her life, she has to stay cool, calm and collected.
I can only imagine what the books are like in terms of its order.
Oh God, I don't even want to try because I think the books are done.
Because are they releasing them in terms of the book's release? I wonder. I'm kind of curious if the books are also written out that way.
I'm wondering.
Because the animes and the animation is being released in terms of its book releases. That'd be one hell of an interesting read. It's like a giant reference book. Right.
And then I guess similar to that, and kind of similar. This one's just iconic in the anime community, the old anime community. The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. That one's just. It's not a required watch. We recommend it because we all loved it back then, and we formed a fucking new religion.
we formed the true religion.
We formed the true religion. But if you're gonna watch that,
and the second season,
both are hard to watch. First season because it was not aired in chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to find the correct order to watch it in.
Right. Well, I mean, I watched it in its release date.
Right, which is not in chronological order.
Exactly. I ended up rewatching it in its chronological order. If I had to choose either one,
I mean, they're not always super connected, but they do reference back a little bit to previous episodes.
they do. I mean,
but there's also a little bit of a point to it.
Exactly, because to be honest, I think I prefer the release date one just because like it felt more natural as that in that way because a lot of it was more so like adventure of the day kind of series.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Yeah, per episode was we had to do one adventure per episode, and that was like the main theme of that episode, and then it would go to a different theme for the next episode, and because it worked because you don't have to watch it in chronological order, which is interesting to say the least.
Right, but again, like I said, I remember reading somewhere there's a point to why it's out of chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
Again, something to do with Haruhi.
Right.
And then the second season is hard to watch because half the show is the same episode.
Which
is the point.
Which I can proudly say I have watched through the Endless 8.
I watched 3 of them and then fucking moved on.
Because I watched everything because I wanted to see the minute differences to see if there was a point to everything. There eventually was a point, but it took me a while because I was watching it live, so I meant every week was the same episode.
Yeah, that would have been fucking rough. Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine reading because you be like, oh man, maybe it's gonna be different this time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the point.
Exactly.
That was the point.
The point was to see like how far does this go, like when it's kind of like like what change, what can he do differently here that could ultimately end this endless nightmare.
Right.
And that was the beauty of it, at least for me watching it live, just because like, all right, we got a couple of things, and then it keeps you. It's one of those things. It's one of those like respawn attempts where like what did I do wrong? How can we fix it? Well, and it's the same if it's the same result overall. You kind of have to like start figuring yourself outside the box. Like, what is it really until it gets to that point?
Well, since again we kind of spoiled that surprise for you just now.
I mean, it's not really a spoiler just because like if you don't see the second season, it's sort of listed as the Endless 8.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Never mind. There would have been no way to.
For veterans, I would expect you guys to like really go through it. Personally, I would personally recommend you guys to go through it just because of the experience itself.
No. Unless if you really want the experience, once you get to Endless 8, just watch it week by week.
If you could, if you had the patience.
And then shoot yourself in the head.
I felt really satisfied towards the end of that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's not a.
I think the only thing left was,
I guess horror.
Yeah, like real spooky stuff.
Yeah, really. I mean, unfortunately, because of the nature of anime, it's not terribly scary. But we can definitely name some like good ones to have under your belt.
Yeah. So
Devilman Crybaby is definitely a must watch. Because it is just like, it is a beautiful product of its time in terms of strange animation as well as the dark, again, the darker subjects. But it's just also legitimately unsettling sometimes. You can sleep on Corpse Party. Because, I mean, it's, again, quote unquote. Now, if you want like a traditional style anime horror story, Corpse Party would be that one, I guess. So maybe you should, because it follows the these high school kids got to figure out why there's other dimensional ghost shit's happening and then solve it somehow while they get brutally murdered. I would recommend Higurashi no Nakakoro ni for no real particular reason other than the OG crazy girl faces.
Yandere?
Yeah, Yandere faces. Like literally OG Yandere fucking super spooky faces. Um, Hellgirl's good, but again, yes, it's good. I don't think it's a required watch. Not too much in horror, unfortunately.
True. I mean, for me, to be honest with you, the way I perceive horror, at least with anime, because of how flexible it can really be, I do enjoy some series that kind of leave that lingering unsettledness in like the background, and where it's it's constantly there, but it's not always present. But you have to be always aware of it.
Yeah.
A good example of that. Well, let's see. It's listed on here. I guess I had to agree. School Live or School Live.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say too much because the first episode. I want you guys to watch that first episode if you're interested. Just know that what I just said before about the lingering fear it's about the unknown. It's about what you don't see. Is what I can find to be the closest to be how horror anime should be.
Right.
Because I mean I've never really had some like oh shit like kind of pop in my face or kind of just like I'm afraid to continue to watch the series kind of moments. It's more so just like I want to see how far it goes, and like it's unsettling to keep going because you don't know what the hell is gonna go on if you keep going. So School Live, definitely give that a watch. It's easy 12 episodes. I don't want to say anymore just because a lot of it can actually be perceived in that first episode. Definitely something to consider in terms of lingering fear. And going further into that, this season in particularly, The Promised Neverland.
Yeah.
Same concept where you have, a basic conflict, but at the same time, you and the characters are trying to come up with every step to avoid such conflict and also trying to solve said conflict 12 steps ahead. But at the same time you don't actually know if it's going to work because every little variable still counts and every little variable matters, and you don't know the guarantees of it.
Right.
And in a way, horror has to be at least horror in this context for anime, it has to be a unexpected fear.
Right.
It's like it's
because it's hard to be scared of anime unless you just bitch.
You just have to be fear. To be honest, fear kind of comes from mostly with empathizing with the characters.
Yeah, and or anticipation and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, and it's really hard to get that kind of anticipation with like lazy writing or bad writing.
Right.
But with Promised Neverland, definitely something not to sleep on it. Because again, personally, I was personally gonna sleep on it the first time it came around. I'm glad I didn't, and I have
easily a sleeper hit of the season.
Exactly. I've left every episode wanting more.
Right.
So even today, it's still going on live, but I still want more, and it's so tempting to read the manga because it's out now and it's ready to like keep going, but I want to experience it as I started, which is the anime.
Right. Also, a lot of hentai under the horror genre, so have fun with it. Let's see. Next up, we got really not much more. I mean fantasy.
You want to do sports?
Again, I guess sports anime are important
for veterans.
Hinamaru Zumo is fucking litty titty committee. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about sports anime. They're all essentially just shonen, but quote unquote more realistic. It's like again, applying shonen ideals to
a sports setting.
A sports setting. Unless it's Hanabata, and then it's just fucking fire. God,
no, you're right.
Hanabato's so good. If you haven't watched that anime, go watch it. It's like a super relatively realistic approach to the whole geniuses versus hard work, and it fucking throws that into your goddamn butthole. I love it. The animation's so good. The girls are so cute. The fucking opening's so great. Oh my god.
Calm down, John. Your leave is showing.
It's so good. Let's see what else we got. It's magic, martial arts, mecha, Gurren Lagann, military. Don't know. Oh, military.
Well, I kind of want to throw in one more sports before we
Go
continue.
for it.
This is also another like oldie one. Suzuka.
I remember that one.
This is a while back. This is mostly, I believe it would say track and field. It's the sport is track and field, and it follows a girl trying to like succeed in that. So and it's also a lot more dramatic. That's why I kind of put this in that veteran say because it's the less shonen in me out of a lot of them because it's more so a much more realistic take on the sport itself,
right?
And it kind of explores character growth, especially in her trying to be better at the sport.
Right.
So Suzuka is definitely something to check out.
What?
In terms of veteran status.
Did you know the sequel to Suzuka is Fuka?
Wait. I think I heard that. I heard they were in the same universe, but I didn't know it was a sequel.
It says I went to sequel and I saw Fuka. I'm like, oh, what's that? And then I clicked it. It was that anime where, it's the blue haired girl getting into that band.
Really? I heard of the...
Yeah.
I know it was in the same universe. I didn't know it was a sequel.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I had no idea.
Well, same dramatic effect. That Fuka kind of deals with more music, if anything.
Yeah. That's interesting. The more you know.
Yeah. We can finish up with like Mecha if you want to.
I mean, I already talked about Gurren Lagann. Nothing else matters.
Hey, some advanced Mecha series. I can keep going for that, Jarron. Let me at least put my fucking plug in here. All right. Well, I don't know. This may be a
do what you're gonna do, bitch.
Personal thing, but the Gundam, the Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn series. Whether it's the movies or the TV series, the re-released TV version series, on Crunchyroll. Though I don't think it'll be fair, just because like, to be honest, if you really ever want to jump on Gundam, same. I swear to God, I'm into like deep lore and deep heavy dialogue shit because the Gundam itself. Same problem with Fate. Same thing with like fucking Index. Well, not so much with Index,
thick.
But man, that smelled like farted. Mobile Suit Gundam in general. It is. I guess I have to consider the whole series as a veteran thing because you have to. If you want to, you'd have to sit through quite a bit. Because the whole Gundam universe. There's a main timeline, which is the UC, the Universal Century timeline, which is sort of the OG, when going back to 1976. If you really want to do that to yourself, kind of dick around through the classic 70s, era of anime, you can if you want to. If you don't, that's fine because there are the Mobile Suit Gundam origin movies, which are based off of the novel series, which is a good understanding how the 1 year war pretty much started out in terms of the universal century timeline. So I'd stick with the origin movie. If you want to start with Gundam, just go with the Mobile Suit Gundam origin movies.
Thick ass story.
It is a
political intrigue, sure, but like there's a lot going on.
Because I mean, if I want to like break the entirety of the UC timeline for Gundam, it's pretty much war is shitty, and people are still people. That's what it really is. Because the whole theme with like Gundam is that war is bad because war is really bad because it kills people.
Yeah.
And there are sometimes the quote unquote wrong side is not always the wrong side, because you'll have like some series that'll actually question the morality of the side they are on, in a sense, and what the overall objective is. It's the whole Gundam universe is a giant war story with mecha. So if I were to recommend anything for you veterans out there that want to sink your teeth with some good old Gundam and may never get to leave out of that, definitely start with the Origin movies. There's like 6 of them, Origin 1 through 6. They're a good hour, 30 minutes long. And then, I mean, it all says it on the Gundam Wiki page, but like, there's this, or chronologically, and you want to go with a timeline order, it's Origins, then Zeta, then Double Zeta, and then there, and
Spook.
and after Double Zeta, there is the Char's Counterattack movie, and then there's Gundam Unicorn, Gundam Unicorn, the entirety of Gundam Unicorn, and then recently, Gundam Narrative NT.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can fuck off and do whatever the hell you want, because there's a lot of like other the timeline still continues on. Like technically, there's one. What's it? Mobile Suit Gundam. Oh, I just had it. It's give me. Oh man, give me a second. I'm typing away here because I can't remember my fucking Gundam series. Oh, like it's called. There's a series called Reconquista in G, which is like
Reconquista.
which is like a 1,000 years into the timeline of the main timeline. But then there's also another series called Turn A Gundam, which is the one series that recognizes all the other separate timeline Gundam series. Because Gundam, as I said, there's a main timeline. There's a bunch of spin-offs, which, to be honest, respectively, the entire franchise is a way to sell their model kits and toys. All perfectly marketed for that, but you get some good series. But there you go. Start with that, or Gundam Origin, and then Zeta, Double Zeta, Char's Counterattack, Unicorn, and then fuck off and just do whatever you want at that. If you want a basic, straight timeline.
If you really want to experience Gundam, buy the merch.
Actually, yeah, there's that too. Gunpla. I mean, if you guys were looking at my shelf, it's literally maybe
Gross.
11 to 12 pounds of pure plastic.
Gross.
A man's gotta have his hobbies.
Gross. Might as well just be big titty anime girls. It's about the same fucking price.
I mean, you can't. Well, I was about to say you can't play with them, but
You can. You're not ready to nut up or shut up.
No, you're right. But we've been going on for quite a bit now. It is fucking 2:43 in the morning.
And then I gotta get up at 6.
Exactly. Man, I am a bad person. But as always, guys, I want to thank you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading us. Thank you again to our first fan letter, fan mail. We can't have done this without you guys. Please reach out to us if you want to recommend us. If you guys think you're more veteran than us, actually, you can reach out to us and give us some other recommendations. 9 out of 10, we probably have seen them.
No, I would say...
Really?
I'd say 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
I haven't watched Berserk. I haven't watched Fate. I haven't watched Index.
I'd probably go with, no, maybe honestly for me, 8 out of 10. But still, if you guys want to recommend us stuff, we'd be more than happy to. You know where to contact us. You know where to find us. So, do it there. Yeah. So, as always, guys, my name is Jomel Socorro.
My name is Jarron Gaddis.
And we are the Wannabe Boo Podcast, bringing you the latest and greatest game and anime news, reviews, and waifus for life.
Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll talk to you next time.